Garrett Jones grew up in Newberg, Oregon, and after high school, he planned to become a law enforcement officer like his father. But in 2005, with thoughts of the September 11th attacks lingering in his mind, he instead chose to join the Marines.
I knew that someone wanted to, kill Americans, and I wanted to take the fight to their soil. A bunch of my friends that I grew up with ended up just being that one guy decided to enlist, and we all decided right almost simultaneously that we were all going to go. And many of us went to war. When I went in to enlist, I matter-of-factly told my recruiter, I said, I'm not enlisting unless you put me in the infantry. As things have changed, I look at war much, much differently now, but I would never, ever have changed my enlistment.
Garrett was deployed to Iraq in 2007, and after months of combat, with just weeks until the end of his deployment, disaster struck.
I was on a foot patrol, and there was a very large IED in the road. It was actually designed to take out like a Humvee. And as I was walking across over the area, the enemy used a remote control to detonate the IED. And unfortunately, I was right on top of it. Physically right on top of it. And so I went up with the explosion. You're not supposed to survive that. It was just by the grace of God, I went up with the explosion instead of being cut to pieces.
Garrett's left leg was completely mangled and eventually amputated. He lost both eardrums, suffered a concussion, and was left with severe shrapnel wounds throughout his body. He returned to the United States to recover, and during a visit to his hometown, he encountered a former classmate who would one day be his wife.
It was a fluke that we kind of reconnected. I was finishing my master's degree and came home for the weekend to visit family, and my mom and I were walking out of a restaurant, and he pulled in and hit the handicap post and just with his truck, and so he got out, exchanged numbers, that sort of thing.
Garrett, however, didn't call Allison. Despite his amputation, he was determined to continue serving his country.
There was no process at that time for someone like me to stay active duty. It was just by the Commandant of the Marine Corps at the time, General Conway. I met him, I told him what I wanted to do, and I gave him my social security number, and 4 days later I had orders. Yeah, I convinced him to let me go.
Less than a year had passed since Garrett's injury before he was deployed to Helmand Province, Afghanistan.
I just kind of felt like a duty to, if I could be there, then I should be. But there was also a healing process to it as well. As an amputee, I felt like if I can do this, then what can't I do?
Garrett returned home from Afghanistan, and almost a year after Allison gave him her phone number, he gave her a call. She made him wait a while before she called him back, but when she finally did, they hit it off. And 6 months later, they were married. Garrett served on a third deployment to Afghanistan before retiring. The Joneses then moved to Washington, D.C., where Garrett and Allison each pursued their own career goals, having 3 beautiful children along the way. Despite Garrett's incredible resilience and Allison's unwavering support, the unavoidable difficulties of Garrett's injuries soon made themselves apparent in everyday life.
When I was injured, I was 22, and I could wear my leg 12 hours a day, and nothing hurt, and I felt good. But supporting a family and working full-time and not being 22 anymore, I'm physically in a much different position than I once was.
Through our R.I.S.E program, I knew the Gary Sinise Foundation could provide Garrett with a home to help make his life more manageable and improve the lives of his family. So I took a moment during another Gary Sinise Foundation event to give him a call.
Hello?
Hello, is this Garrett? Garrett, this is Gary Sinise calling.
I thought I was a telemarketer.
I just wanted to say we would be honored to work with you on a project to get a nice home built for you, for all you've done for our country.
Wow.
I was utterly shocked. I looked at Allison and
I think after we got a phone, we just sort of
smiled at each other like, wow.
How do you even soak this up?
Yeah.
With the support of independent community donations, The Gary Sinise Foundation began construction on Garrett and Allison's specially adapted smart home in Stafford, Virginia.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to the Jones family. On behalf of the Gary Sinise Foundation, we'd like to officially present you with the iPad that controls your house.
It's a little surreal that our life is going to change so immensely. I mean, keep walking through and into the master bathroom, and first time in 9.5 years, I won't have to have jumped over a shower ledge to try and get in and worry about falling or slipping. I feel like I have a lot at my fingertips now, after 9.5 years. And the beauty of the home, I mean, it's like something that belongs in a magazine. But I think for a little while, it's gonna probably feel like a luxury vacation house until it sinks in that this is, like, wow, this is, my home, our home.
Today, Garrett continues to pursue his new and exciting leadership opportunities in business and beyond, while being a great father and husband for his family. At the Gary Sinise Foundation, we serve our nation by honoring our defenders, first responders, their families, and those in need. To learn more about the Gary Sinise Foundation and how you can support other veterans like Garrett Jones, visit GarySiniseFoundation.org.